Hello, welcome to this episode of For the Love of Theatre, the podcast that aims to bring the South Australian theatre scene to you. My name is Annabel at Whitford and I will be your host. The intention of this podcast is to celebrate our quality community theatre productions, their creatives, and create a further sense of connection between all the theatre groups, their audiences, and you, our listeners. We hope that in future episodes we will cover other companies, their productions, and have more guest hosts. And if this sounds like something you'd want to be a part of, then just let us know. Email fortheloveoftheatrepodcast@gmail.com. For this episode, I am delighted to be discussing Adelaide University Theatre Guild's production of Pomona. We like to start with a creative quote, and this one comes from Artaud. There are those who go to the theatre as they would go to a brothel. Welcome to Pomona.
Pomona, written by Alistair McDowall, directed by Thomas Midena. 7th to the 16th of August in the Little Theatre, South Australian premiere. What darkness lurks at the heart of the city? Ollie is searching for her sister and all roads lead to Pomona, an abandoned concrete island at the heart of the city. But as others have learned the hard way, getting involved can cost you everything. Perhaps to survive, it's better to ignore the truth. Pomona is a dark, intense and curious one-act play about living in the modern world. It unfolds like a puzzle, flirts with the fantastical, and twists like a nightmare. The play was first performed in London in 2014. This will be its South Australian premiere. Tickets are available at www.trybooking.com/DGADT.
Coming up, there are interviews with two of our actors, stage manager Bella Wheatland, director Thomas Midena, but I kick things off by speaking with the assistant director.
My name is Sophie Livingston-Pearce and I'm assistant directing Pomona.
Sophie, as assistant director, how did this project find its way to you? Were you approached by Thomas?
Yes, so Thomas asked to meet me and gave me the script to read, and I think it was very interesting because he seemed like he wasn't quite that sure about what he was doing with it either, but he had been approved and everything, and he was like, I would love for you to work on this project, and I was like, okay, great. And I think when I first read it, I wasn't sure about it either. Like, it's such an interesting play, it's such a strange play, and it deals with lots of quite heavy stuff, but it's very interesting. Like, there's so much to explore.
Is that why it is so appealing? I mean, it is very heavy, like you say, but it's weird and it's twisted and it's puzzling in the best way. Is that what appealed about it to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think just it is quite, I don't know, sort of boundary pushing. It's not the sort of thing that I come across a lot in community theatre. And so it's nice to do something that is so different and so unusual, and yeah.
And is this the first time you have taken on an AD or director type role? Because we know you primarily as an actress.
Yes, that's right. It's the first time I'm doing anything like this. So it was a very exciting opportunity, and I'm very glad that Thomas thought of me for it because it's been so different and so fun.
One of the rehearsals I saw, you were teaching the crew how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Now, is that a skill you had before? Maybe that's what got you to the role. No, but was that something you learned and said, "Oh, I can then teach the crew"? What was the instruction for Thomas? Like, the cast need to know how to solve a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, well, Thomas gifted me a Rubik's Cube. I think it was on maybe the first day of auditions or something, and was like, it would be great if you could learn how to solve this. I'm trying to learn as well because they feature in the play. And so I was like, okay, great. And I went home and I studied and I watched videos and things, and I taught myself how to solve a Rubik's Cube. And I got pretty quick, like in a couple of days. And then the next week came back and was like, yeah, this is how you do it. And so he's been getting me to teach the cast how to do it as well.
And how are they going?
Yeah, mostly pretty well. I think some people have got a bit of experience and some people are beginners. But yeah, I think everybody is getting the hang of it. It's very fun.
We had a lot of people come and audition.
part of your AD role, you were there at the auditions. How did you and Thomas eventually decide on the cast that we have? We got a really good group of young actors, and there's a young production team. That was sort of an unconscious decision, I think, because we had a number of people audition. But what were your discussions like with Thomas when you came to the conclusion, oh, this is the cast we want? Your sister is one of the actors, but she auditioned fair and square. You just happened to be AD. Do you like working together?
Yeah, we've worked together on a few things, both acting, which is very nice. And yeah, I didn't have a hand in her casting or anything, but it is very nice to be working with her again. And yeah, I think Thomas is just a big fan of the things that he's seen of her. I honestly, I can't remember what our conversations were like, but I think it was just, we did have so many people auditioning and so many really wonderful, very different interpretations of the text, which was really interesting. And I think part of what brought this cast together was just that we were interested in the specific ways that they interpreted the scenes they were given. I think it is really nice to have quite a young cast and a young team, because it feels like we're giving young people the opportunity to learn new skills and to try different things, especially on such an interesting show. It means that we're bringing in young people's ideas and young people's perspectives, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it was probably all unconscious.
I love seeing young people coming into theatre and being interested in all aspects of theatre. And as you say, this is a bit of an unusual show. It's maybe a bit different than what perhaps some other companies might do. So for the people who come to see the show, what do you say to them to get them in, and what do you hope they get out of it when they come and see it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think when I'm talking to people about this show, I do often say it's a weird one, just because a lot of people have a particular idea of what community theatre is going to be like. And so I try to go, oh, it's a really unusual play. It's a really is inconsistent in its timing, and it's not quite, it doesn't even really solve all of the issues that it presents. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, sometimes you don't need to solve all the issues that it presents. I think that's quite an interesting angle in itself. Well, thank you, Sophie. It's been excellent. I have one final question that I ask everybody when I do these, and it is a bit of a loaded question. Why is it so important to have community theatre in Adelaide?
This is a very good question. I think it's very important. I think that there's something so special about theatre and the way that it brings people together, not only in the cast and crew, but also in the audience. I think it's a really wonderful thing to be able to share stories in a way that has been done for thousands and thousands of years. It's just such a special community building experience to watch live theatre and to be involved in live theatre. And yeah, so I think bringing that to Adelaide and being able to form community in that way is really important. And I think the arts are very powerful in general. I think theatre is very powerful. And so being able to engage in the arts and engage in these unusual stories and engage in contemporary political issues through theatre is a really special thing, and it's very important.
Excellent. Sophie, thank you. Now I am speaking with our stage manager, Bella.
My name is Bella Wheatland, and I'm stage managing Pomona.
So, Bella, similarly, how did this project find its way to you?
Well, Sophie asked me to stage manage this show. Sophie and I go way back, and I've done a bunch of shows with Sophie and stage managed shows that she's been in. So yeah, I was very excited to be asked to do a Theatre Guild show with her and with a bunch of other wonderful creatives that I've also worked with quite a few times. And yeah, I was really excited for the opportunity to work in the little theatre again and work on a Theatre Guild show. So I said yes pretty immediately without actually reading the script or anything.
Okay, well, good. You say a Theatre Guild show, but you've been heavily involved in the Theatre Guild Student Society. So this is your first Theatre Guild adult show, yes, quote unquote. Are you still involved with them, or are you now branching out into other companies?
Yeah, so I have been part of a bunch of TGSS shows. I directed a show with TGSS last year, and have now graduated from uni, and so thought, it'd be good to branch out to beyond student theatre. But TGSS has definitely given me a love for the Little Theatre and for the Theatre Guild and for the shows that have been here, and the creativity of a lot of people in this crew have also done a lot of TGSS shows. So it's fun to be able to work with them in a still similar but slightly different context. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I'm glad and proud that people who are involved with the Student Society, they're either still here or they've come back and they can still branch out and go and do other things. And, Mosquitoes last year was excellent. And so when I heard that Thomas had brought Sophie and Bella on board, there's a really great team shaping up here. You said you came on board before you read the script. Then you read the script. Were you prepared for what you got yourself into?
Absolutely not. It's a completely mind-boggling script. I think partly because I think Sophie briefly mentioned it's non-linear, so it is quite difficult at first just reading to get your head around and understand all the different characters and all the different plot lines that are happening. And then also there's just a fantastic twist that I think is I had no idea about, and I hope audiences will also come in and hear the twist and be totally shocked by it. But I mean, it's a fascinating play, and so I was very keen. Also for the, challenge as a stage manager, you have cast on stage the whole time, a lot of different working pieces, a lot of on-stage tech, and just a lot going on. So it was pretty exciting to me to work on a show like this that's not just a classical sit down and people talking, but a lot going on.
It's challenging, but it's fun.
Yes, exactly.
It keeps your brain active, but you're enjoying it so much. There's a lot of moving parts, as you say, and it's a very non-linear, twisted, interesting script. How do you sort of keep on top of all the aspects? I suppose I'm asking what it's like to be a stage manager. You're managing the crew, you're managing the cast. Are they sort of meeting your expectations? How are the cast working together, I suppose?
Yeah, it's a fantastic cast that are all, I feel like they've all meshed really well. And they're so responsive and active and, remember things really well, which is really great for me. Makes my job really easy. They're just so on top of everything. Yeah, which a few of them I worked with before and know they would be great, but it's also been great to meet some new people and see what they bring. And I feel like there's such a great dialogue between Thomas and Sophie and the cast, bringing ideas and questioning things, and especially with a play that does leave so much up to interpretation and that has so many questions embedded in the text. I think there's so much space for actors to think about their own character and their motivations and what's going on, and questioning even the order of scenes. We've had a lot of discussions of what order scenes are supposed to be in linearly, which is really fun to play around with that. And I think it's such a creative cast, and a cast that's really switched on and thinking about the play, which is fun.
It's a one-act play. It's non-linear. It's very twisty. It's been intense. With that in mind, similarly to what I asked Sophie, what do you hope audiences take away from this? Are they going to come out of the theatre asking more questions?
Yeah, I think it would definitely be one where you just have to leave and just sit and think about it for a while and hopefully talk to your friends about it. I hope that audiences do appreciate that it is a one-act play. It's 90 minutes, so you can have an early night and go home and talk about it. But I think that's the thing where everything is also going to come at you so fast. You don't get a chance to settle and just switch off. You have to be thinking the whole time. It just comes at you and then it will be done. And then you'll be left with a million questions, which is so fun. I think, like Sophie mentioned, the importance of live theatre. And I think it is that where you have to be so present in the moment. You're drawn into this world of Pomona that is so twisty, and you're not really ever quite sure what is going on or what's really happening, but you're in there in this, especially in this theatre where we're all so squished together. And I hope the audiences will feel like they're in a futuristic Manchester and are a bit creeped out, and the actors will be around them everywhere, and they'll be thinking, am I part of this? What's going on? Am I complicit in this story? Yeah, I think it'll be a good one for audiences to discuss.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. I genuinely cannot wait to see it. So you've got some crew. So you have crew. So you, aside from you two, there's also.
So we have Atticus Chave doing costumes and also some props. Tanisha Modeshaw is doing set. Alice Smith is our lighting designer. Beth Rosenboom will be assistant stage manager. And Thomas Field is doing some original music.
So Bella, why is it so important to have community theatre in Adelaide?
I think there is nothing like theatre for connecting people, both when you're in it and you're part of it. Doing a show will just immediately connect you with everyone else and make you feel so part of something because you're all working to make something happen. Everyone is so important to making a show. So I think for people being part of it is so important. And also for audiences in Adelaide, we need things to go and do, ways to get out of the house, ways to connect with each other in a space and feel something together. And I think that's really important for our tiny little city where not much is often going on. It's so important for us to make these opportunities to make something and have something happen together.
Thank you, Bella, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you to both of you.
You're welcome.
And so now I am talking with two of the cast from Pomona.
Hi, I'm Louis. I'm playing Mo.
Hi, I'm Airlie. I'm playing Faye.
Thank you for joining me today. Can you talk a little bit about the audition process? And what was it like when Thomas gave you that call to say you're in?
Well, just signed up for the auditions on the Theatre Guild social media pages, which you should all follow. It was a very interesting process. So you get an email with links to some of the audition packs, the audition materials that you can read, and you can choose a monologue and perform that during your audition slot. And it was Thomas and our assistant director Sophie, and they were in the room cold reading with us. Yeah, and then when I got the call that I got the part, it was very exciting because I've never been called to say I have a part before, so it was actually very, very sweet. Yeah, it was very meaningful. I thought it was bad. I thought it was going to be bad news because I'd never been called before. But yeah, it was positive, which is excellent.
Yeah, I mean, look, mine was pretty much the exact same experience, but instead of you, it was me. So that's the only difference in my story is that I was in my story. But yeah, it was good to get a call, wasn't it? It was nice. It was like, oh, like something terrible's happened because someone's calling me, and I was like, oh no, actually, something good has happened. Really liked auditioning. Actually, like Tom was really chill, and yeah, he's like, it was nerve-wracking going, but he was super, just made me feel relaxed in the audition, and it was good. Actually, like cold reading we did, because did you learn your bit?
No, I did not have it memorized.
Yeah. Did you I'm sorry, I'm taking over the interview. Did you audition for this character or a different one?
I auditioned for this one and Ollie, but I was open to whatever Thomas thought I would fit better.
Yeah. See, I auditioned, I don't know if this is like something people talk about, but I auditioned for Charlie, and I felt like I was like, that was okay. And then I cold read for Mo, and I was like, that felt better. But I think it's like, it shows that Thomas is really like, he's a nice person to audition for and to act for, because you can cold read and feel comfortable, and yeah, it was fun.
Good. Thomas is also good to act with. You were in the Watsons together. Is that the first time you met Thomas? I mean, what's it like working with him as a co-actor as opposed to a director?
Oh, me? Well, yeah. Have you acted with Tom before? No? Yeah, he's great to work with. Like, he's the same, you know what I mean? Like, he's just always good at what he's doing, and he's very focused on what he's doing, and he's like not taking things crazy seriously either. Like, he's not, a douchebag. He's quite nice.
He's the genuine deal.
Yeah, he's super intelligent. Like I could tell. I was like, I think this man might be one of those secret geniuses. You know, like one of those people who's not like, look at me, I'm a genius, or like he's just like very quiet, but you can tell he's very thoughtful and yeah, very on top of his shit. If you can swear on this, yeah, why not? Shit. Do you want to swear?
No.
Airlie, tell me about your character.
My character, Faye, is a sex worker. She is a very interesting character because she's about my age, so, early to mid-20s, but she is incredibly hardened by the world of Pomona already at her very young age. She's quite wary of strangers through all of her life experiences, but she does have a kind of base kindness and empathy, and that comes through a scene that I have with Louis as Mo, where she is able to connect with him on a different level that she doesn't connect with people normally. That's Faye.
Very good. And Louis, tell us about your character, Mo.
Yeah, Mo is he's got some issues, man. He's got some real problems, but he's got like quite like he's definitely always got his armor on, but he's got a lot of thoughts underneath, and I think he's very thoughtful, but he's also sort of just like he's a bit what's the word? There'll be a long pause here that you could cut out so that I don't do a Russell Brand and just you can keep that in if you want.
Make sure you say he's a security guard.
Yeah, he's a security guard. He has a job. I forgot he has a job. I think because like it's yeah. He look, he's definitely got issues, and I think he struggles with his issues constantly. He's just constantly struggling with himself. He is very thoughtful inside, I think, and he is somewhat like sweet. I remember Tom saying that in the audition. He was like, "This guy has a sweetness about him," and I was like, "I don't know if I can do that," but yeah, I think I get it.
You mentioned it's set in Manchester. Do you have to affect a Mancunian accent?
A Mancunian? Is that a word? Mancunian?
Apparently, yeah. Originally, there was an idea floating around that we could all do different UK accents individually as actors. That's really, really difficult. Really difficult. Particularly if you're already kind of iffy on an accent and you're in a scene with another actor who's doing a different accent. They can kind of leak into each other and you just lose it. Yeah, and I think that would have been very distracting to maintain that, particularly if they were bad accents. So Thomas has made the executive decision that we will not be affecting Mancunian accents for the show.
Thank God for that. No, it would have been interesting, but also I've never done a play with like no accent.
Yeah, no, actually me neither. All of my plays have either been like American or English, something like that.
Yeah, and it feels nice, I think, to just relax into your voice, into your own voice, and not be worrying about something else. You can just think about the thoughts rather than being like... Because I feel like when you have an accent, it sort of changes your thoughts a bit. Like it changes the way that you think about expressing a word or something or pronouncing a word. You just... think about it a bit more, and that does affect your performance beyond just how you sound.
I think there's a lot going on in this play already in the best way. I mean, it's a non-linear script. I have no spoilers on how it's being presented or anything like that. I'm just looking forward to seeing it. So what's that like? Is that hard to navigate? I mean, you must know the story in your mind and everything, and knowing the characters well and everything else, but what's that like? Is it different for you? Is it hard? Is it easy? Is it challenging in a good way? I mean, what's the script like and making your brain work kind of thing?
I find the non-linear aspect of the show really difficult in a performance sense, because every time I'm entering the stage, I have to recall where I am at the point in the story. Everything that happens to Faye is quite bad. So jumping from, okay, this is after the bad event has happened, and then this is before this second bad event happens. And, every time I'm entering a scene, it's kind of jumping all over the place and it's not following a chronological order. So that has been a really fun challenge to kind of wrap my head around, okay, where have I just been before this scene and then what's happening now, to kind of get it all straight in my brain.
Yeah. Agreed. That's it. Agreed.
Very good, isn't she?
Yeah. That's perfectly articulated. I mean, it's pretty hard.
Okay, so Louis, why did you audition for this? What was it? What was so appealing about this play that you're like, I want to be part of that?
Oh, I'm an actor. I need work. No, I'll take anything. No, knowing that Tom was doing it and like hearing that it just sounded very strange, and it sounded like when I looked at the audition materials, I was like, this is very genuinely interesting. Like I was reading all the parts and trying to put the story together. So yeah, it was just interesting, I guess.
One of the rehearsals I saw, your assistant director, Sophie, was teaching you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Do you have to do that on stage, and have you mastered it yet?
I hope we don't have to do it on stage.
I've mastered it.
Have you?
No. I literally would stay up at night doing it, and I'd do it before bed, which was a dumb idea because then I'd get really angry before bed and I'd go to sleep angry. I hate them. Hate those
Never
Rubik's
go to
cubes.
bed angry.
Yeah, but me and this Rubik's Cube, we're not meant to be together.
Bad for each other.
Yeah.
So like you say, this play is very strange. It's non-linear. It's a bit different, perhaps something that other companies might not put on necessarily. Or what do you hope the audience gets out of it? What do you say to them to get them in? And what are they going to say afterwards?
I hope people are intrigued by this play because it's so... Part of the reason I was intrigued for this play is because it is so fresh and different from what a lot of amateur theatre companies are putting on in South Australia. And even for the Guild itself, I feel like it's a totally different genre and path that's been taken. I hope that the audience comes and reflects on the modern world, which sounds ridiculous and abstract, but it is a dark play, but that doesn't mean it's totally pessimistic. So yeah, I hope people just bask in the surrealness and probably come out with a lot of frowns, hopefully laughs as well, because it is a very funny play. And just ponder society.
Yeah, it is a bit funny as well. It's definitely like really not to boast, but it's a good cast. Everyone's really good though. Like I remember when we did the reading, I was like, wow, everybody really sounds like their character. And it's really one of those experiences where I feel like you just got to come in and let it wash over you. Like, don't come in and get frustrated at the like non-linear narrative or anything. It's one of those things where you can just come in and experience it and then go home with it and take what you take from it. And yeah, I think you're right. Like about just thinking about society afterwards would be nice. I think people should do that. I think also people should sort of think about, like, this is a weird thing to say, but like, why would you end up in Pomona? Why would you end up in that place? You know what I mean? Like everyone in the play, I think, is there because there's an aspect of their personality, which is they've put themselves in this position. They've ended up in this place. I think it's anybody could end up there.
It's intriguing.
Please come.
Please come. It's a good show, and it's only one act.
That's another reason you should get in this door and come and watch this play. This play is an hour and a half long, no intermission. That's shorter than every single movie that is released nowadays. I'm sick of these 3-hour, dragging on, plays and movies. Come in, have your mind blown, experience this crazy surreal play, and then leave, and then you'll be home for bed, before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So get out there.
I like long things, though.
No. Ignore him. Truly.
Okay, so Airlie, I'll start with you. Serious question.
I stand by my words, actually.
So Airlie, why is it so important to have community theatre in Adelaide?
Community theatre is so important because without theatre and without art, nobody will think or talk about anything. The impact it has on culture is so massive, and art reflects life and life reflects art, and we won't be able to process all of these awful things we're going through as a modern society, and we won't be able to reflect on all of these issues unless it's being put to us on a stage. And sometimes, hopefully, the play is a bit funny, like Pomona, so you can kind of take it with a bit of humour as well. Yeah, we need to have community theatre so that we have time to process all of these things collectively as an audience.
Beautiful answer.
He's going to say...
Agreed.
No, you have... I know you have...
So, Louis, why is it so important to have community theatre in Adelaide?
What else are you gonna do, man? On a Friday night, gotta have something to do. No, it's good. It is therapeutic, though, isn't it? Like what you're saying. Really, it's like group therapy when you go see a play, and it's like therapy when you do a play. You know,
Yes.
it's really yeah, it's very important for people to have these outlets. When you go see a play, like people might not do it often, but when you go see something and it's by amateurs, it's really good. It's like so exciting. It really makes you go like, why am I not doing that? Or why am I not doing something else? Like there's a lot of things that people don't do because they think they're just not good enough, like sports or whatever, and they just don't get involved in it, or they think they're too old or too young or blah, whatever. They have all these reasons. And when you see somebody like people who are just doing it and they're actually doing it much better than you think they would, it's really inspiring and it's really good to do. It's really fun. I honestly just do it for me usually.
Free therapy.
Yeah, I just like getting up there doing my thing and I'm like, there's people here. Oh my God.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Louis, for your time
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you.
And come see Pomona. So now I am speaking with the director of Pomona.
Hi, my name's Thomas Midena, and I'm the director.
Big question up front.
Oh, no.
Why this play?
Why this play? Well, I first read this play when I was having a look around and reading several plays, actually. And this one immediately jumped out to me just because it's so kind of intense and immediate. You start reading the first scenes and I was immediately drawn into kind of the immediate tension in every scene. And there's clearly a lot going on below the surface in this play. And it's very current, it's very contemporary, it's very now. It's about the times we're living in. And it's just full of this like existential angst that I feel like I can really relate to. I often say I'm a kind of existential crisis every 2 weeks sort of person, and I feel seen by this play. I mean, the playwright, actually, Alistair McDowall, calls this play a collection of everything he's most scared of, and that the play itself is anxious, and I love that about it. I think it's very true. Also, just the fact that it's 90 minutes with no interval drew me to it a lot. I love the fact that it ramps up over 90 minutes. You've got no break, no way out. You just have to get through to the end, no matter what.
Well, that's fair enough. I remember our programming committee read it, said like they hadn't heard of it. It's like, oh no, I love this. This is interesting. It's different. It's non-linear. It's it can be a risk to take on a one act. Speaking as a business person, if you've got a play that's strong enough and good enough, you think, hang on, we don't need an interval. We can, there's a bar open after the show, but the show is good enough. Why would you not do it?
Right.
That's our confidence in you, Thomas. We know you, in Adelaide at least, primarily as an actor and perhaps as a TV presenter and things like that, but mainly as an actor, especially with your relationship with the Guild. So what's it like stepping behind the scenes, as they say?
Yeah, well, it's certainly daunting at first, because this is the first time I've really done a whole play like this. I've directed kind of scenes, I've directed kind of skits and many short films. A lot of film is more where I've done directing, but this is quite a change. I mean, it feels like a great challenge for right now, honestly. And the fact that, I think there's a lot of things that help. The fact that I've acted in so many shows and have been slowly thinking over the years about how I might direct something. So it's a chance to start to put that into practice. And I guess I'm seeing the differences between directing film and directing theatre, because I do think it's quite different, particularly the path from the start to the end, because I feel like in film, as a director, you slowly get more control. You can tell the actors literally everything you want them to do, and then in the end they leave and you have the footage and you can do whatever you want with it. You can splice out whatever line and take one word from
Manipulate
here.
it.
Manipulate it in your own way. But it's the opposite in theatre. At some point I'm going to have to let it go. It's over to the cast. It's all them. They're in control. And that's a bit terrifying but very exciting. The fact that it is in a lot of ways more of an actor's medium, that they're really breathing life into it every time they run it and every time they perform it. And you can give them all the tools and then it's theirs in the end. And that's super exciting.
Well, that's excellent. Tell us about that cast.
Yeah.
I remember the auditions, of course, and we had a lot of talent come through, but you got a really excellent team of young talent here.
They are brilliant. I love them all. It's such a great little cast. The auditions we had were amazing. It was a couple of days of really great auditions. And then for the cast we selected for this, some of them I knew. Only one of them I had worked with before. That's Louis. I'd worked with him where he'd done a couple of small roles. And yeah, it's great to see him embrace something a bit more meaty, a bit larger with this one. And really go full-throated into it. Then there were some of the cast who I'd never worked with, but I'd seen in things like Mia, and she's always blown me away in every show I've seen. So it's great to be able to work with her now. I've loved that about just coming to Adelaide Theatre, the fact that I've been able to see all these shows and admire people and casts and crews in all these shows and then get to work with them later is just a really unique, enjoyable experience. And then there's cast members like Airlie, who I didn't know at all, came in at the end of a long day of auditions. And basically I felt in that moment, like immediately I was thinking, what role do you want? You could do any of them. Just really lovely, natural, exciting, creative performers. And the fact that they're all working so closely together in this show is lovely. It's such an ensemble show. There are scenes where they all need to be kind of choreographed quite tightly together. And it's been so much fun. There's a lot of play in the rehearsals for this show, and it's delightful.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
They do work very well together, and they're on stage for the whole show?
Yeah, that's right. The playwright stipulates that ideally the whole cast should be kind of present in the space for this entire play. And we're sticking to that. It's kind of been described, I've seen it described as like a cage match or a boxing ring of like every scene is something that everyone is surrounding and it doesn't know what's going to happen. They're all leaning in and they're all always watching. Yeah.
That's a good description. And you've got some literal fight choreography going on as well, even some dance choreography as well.
Yes. We've had Jethro come in and help with some fight choreography, which is, I mean, I think the cast involved in that had a lot of fun learning about that and making some choreography look quite violent. And then it's a fun challenge working out how exactly that plays into the story and how we might be using some blood effects and some things like that. It's quite an intense show, so there are certainly some shocking moments of violence, I suppose, in the show. But yeah, I don't know how we would have done it without someone like Jethro coming in with so much experience and expertise.
Definitely. And on that note, you also have a very young, energetic crew. So there's a palpable sense with the creative team.
Yeah, well, it all stemmed from picking the assistant director, Sophie Livingston-Pearce, and I knew early on that I wanted to ask her if she would assistant direct for this show because I think she's a very wise young theatre practitioner. She's got so much experience and she's very warm and kind, and I like her presence in a rehearsal room. And she's just been fantastic. And then the crew beyond that has been really just stemming out from the people Sophie knew and has worked with before. And then for those people, as we slowly added one by one, the people they recommended, and it slowly branches out in this nice natural way where everyone's getting to work with people that they know will be lovely to work with, who will do a good job, who will be enthusiastic, and then ultimately that gets you this band together who, all enjoy working in the same way, I suppose I would say.
Like you say, it's a sort of a weird, strange, non-linear script. A bit unusual, perhaps, something a lot of companies perhaps might not take on. And it's one act. What do you say to get bums on seats, and what do you hope the audience takes away from it?
Great question. I think a part of it is just how relevant I think the show is for now, which is sort of a cliche thing to say. You could say it about
But it can be true.
anything, but it's very true, I think. The show is so much about consumption, I think, and how we're all stuck in this world that's obsessed with consumption. And we're in a world of, billionaires and trillionaires now, and such big corporations rule our lives. And I think that's really at the core of the thematic core of the play. That fear of what can we do? What choice do we have when we're such little, impowerful little things in a world of powers we can't comprehend, which dictate our lives? I think the way that the play gets that message across in its tone and in its vibe and style is really unique. And I think Alistair McDowall said this, that the play is the plot is secondary in this play. I mean, there is of course an interesting plot with some mysteries and some surprising reveals, but it really comes secondary to the spending time with these characters and living in this world. And I just love that it's about kind of the style of it and the vibe of it and the feeling. And I think it's so cinematic in that way, and the music and the lighting is all very important. Just the way it feels is kind of so true to me.
And it does have its own sense of style, I feel. So can you talk a little bit about the set design and how that is going to be exhibited?
Yeah, so the play itself is technically set in Manchester in current day, but the playwright Alistair McDowall has said really it's not important that it's Manchester. It could be any city, and that's what we're rolling with. That it is any city in a way. It's just a relatable city.
They did mention not having to do the accent was a relief.
Did they? Yeah. Well, we had some play with accents, which was fun, but I think the fact that it's relatable is important, and that it feels like this is our world is important. So I like that we're going with natural accents. And for our version of the play, we're imagining it's the near future as well, leaning into a bit of that almost Blade Runner-esque sort of overwhelming mega city sort of vibe. That feeling of being in an overwhelming maze of a city that's raining and overbearing and full of people you don't know and places you don't know and mysteries. And I suppose in terms of the design, even though we're considering its near future, we're also taking a lot of inspiration from early 2000s and late 90s. I've heard this kind of thinking or theory before, that the future always has a lot of how we imagine the future now always has a lot of similarities to 20 or 30 years ago. Like things go in these cycles. Like 20 years from now, it's easy to imagine we might be dressing like 20 years ago. And so yeah, in the music and in the costumes, there'll be some styling of the 2000s and the 90s.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is a very sort of heavy, serious, but there's also moments of levity.
Oh, absolutely. And that's so great about it. It's not just a stoic, constantly overbearing sort of show. The characters are likable, I think. They're all likable, I think. I mean, some of them are making questionable decisions, but I genuinely like them all. I like spending time with them all. And there's real humor in there. And all of the characters' names are inspired, actually, by classic comedians like Buster Keaton. The playwright himself was reminding himself while writing it that there's room for silliness and play and comedy, even though it's some of the darkest, scariest stuff I can possibly imagine.
Mo, Charlie, yeah.
Yeah.
The names are great.
That's right.
You've covered this already, but very quickly, Thomas, why should I come see this play?
Well, you should come see this play, Annabel, because you work here.
Okay.
But the royal you should come and see this play because it's short, intense, fun, exciting, immediate, and just a brilliant ride, I'd say.
That's perfect. I will ask you the big question again. I asked you a couple of years ago,
I remember.
but I'll ask you again anyway, Thomas. Why is it so important to have community theatre in Adelaide?
Well, in the context of Pomona, I think if all of life was just like it is for some of these characters, trying to survive in a big city where it's all about consumerism, it's all about money, then I don't think I'd see the point of anything. So I think, not to sound too bleak, but I think without theatre like this, without the ability to make things like this and tell stories and live in stories and enjoy stories, then I don't see the point of anything.
Brilliant. On that note, thank you, Thomas, for
You're
your
welcome.
time.
Thank you.
My thanks to Thomas and Sophie and Bella and Louis and Airlie for their time. And you have also heard some original music by Thomas Field, which will feature in the production. I look forward to seeing you at Pomona, but in the meantime I'd like to tell you about some other ways to get involved. View what's on in Adelaide today and purchase a ticket to a show, perhaps become a member or subscriber of your local theatre company. If you would like to volunteer for a local community theatre company, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Email fortheloveoftheatrePodcast@gmail.com. There are a myriad of roles, including front of house, back of house, set design, set construction, costumes, lighting design, lighting operations, sound operation, properties, marketing, content opportunities. The list goes on. Theatre is for everybody, so we will try our best to find the right fit for you. Send us an email with a description of your contact details, skill sets and interests and your availability, and we'll do our best to get you in amongst all the fun. I'd also like to encourage every listener today to become a member of TARSA, the Theatre Association of South Australia. It's free to subscribe, and you will receive a monthly edition of Encore, the online magazine. In addition to this, you'll discover what's on, company events and auditions, and you can also access their latest reviews across community theatre companies in this wonderful state of ours. For more information on that, head to TARSA online, that's tasaonline.org.au. A big thank you to all the members of the cast and the crew of Pomona for giving up their time to talk to me. And thank you, dear listener, for joining me for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for future episodes, please contact us. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button on your favourite podcast platform and leave us a review. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of For the Love of Theatre podcast. Until next time.